Evening, everyone. Welcome to this Lucas Fox and Lumon Investment Opportunities in Spain for 2026 webinar. It's going to be a 360-degree view of Spain's real estate market, where to invest, live and watch in 2026. My name is Jonathan Watson, one of the senior traders at Lumon, an international payment specialist, and I'm your host this evening as we enter the Spanish property market, looking at depth at different locations to buy, assessing some of the up-and-coming hotspots and some of the benefits of buying property in this beautiful area. It's about 4 degrees in central London this evening, so I can't think of anything I'd rather be doing, to be honest, than looking at some nice warm Spanish hotspots to try and warm me up a little bit. I'm shortly going to hand over to my panelists for their personal introductions, but just some information for you, please, the audience this evening. We want the webinar to be as interactive as possible, and there is a question box for you to raise any questions you might have for our panelists. So please feel free to ask those. We'll try and get through as many as possible. We will reply to you personally at the end. So thank you very much for joining us. Now let me pass over to our panelists for their introductions. Let's start with Juan Garcia, Barcelona Downtown Office Director at Lucas Fox, our property specialist.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jonathan, and thanks for this invitation. As you mentioned, I am the Barcelona Downtown Office Director, focusing and specializing in guiding all international and local buyers willing to buy and sell properties in fascinating Barcelona with, I think, around 18 degrees now.
Perfect, and I'll jump in to introduce myself as well. I'm Amanda. I've been with Lucas Fox for the last couple of years. I'm also based here in the Barcelona office with Juan, and we're really looking forward to bringing you information on where to invest and where to potentially live in Spain and what the trends are going to be in the coming year.
Perfect, thank you both. And yes, my name is Jonathan, I'm senior trader here at Lumon. We've been trading for 25 years. We help clients all around the world, moving money in and out of Spain and any other potential transactions that you might need. We've got a real understanding of the Spanish property transaction process. And as we'll be able to explain later, there's a lot happening in the currency markets forecast for 2026. So having some of the different tools that we can offer at your disposal could prove very sensible. So thank you for joining us. I'll now hand over to Amanda and we'll turn to the first slide. Thank you.
Perfect, thanks Johnny. So with this first slide, what we wanted to share was just a few touch points with regards to Spain in general and what's happening. So the first point, always good news that economic confidence is returning, unemployment is dropping, inflation's moderating, and it's being projected that the GDP is going to grow 2.1 to 2.3% in 2026, which is outperforming the EU average. Over to Juan for point number 2.
Yes, as Amanda well indicated, the Spanish fundamentals are moving in a good direction. Spain, it's really interesting destiny for investment, second life residence or lifestyle investment in the many options that we have, even it is the coast or inland, with ROIs averaging around between 5 and 8 to 9% with a very healthy economy trend.
Can I just jump in there, both of you? Because sorry to jump, but I just want to highlight that because I think it's really fantastic, you know, and the Spanish growth story of the last few years, you know, in the world that we've been living in, obviously the UK economy has been really struggling. Other parts of the world, America, a bit wobbly there, other countries in the Eurozone, but Spain has just massively outperformed the rest of the world. What are you both seeing though? Is that forecast to continue? Are we expecting that's going to carry on?
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think that actually leads really nicely into the third point, which is that Spain has this very continuous appeal and something that's now growing because of trends in the world, which is its lifestyle. You cannot beat the lifestyle that you can get living in Spain. And now I think, especially following the COVID years, when people are really learning to appreciate the finer things in life, maybe, or the quality of good produce, of a good lifestyle, of a friendly, welcoming culture, that's really bringing them back to Spain, as well as the affordability factor. So we're really seeing that it keeps drawing people here, and lifestyle is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, that people continue to buy here. And on top of that, when we look at new build projects and branded residence projects, we can see that Spain itself is also catching up and catching on to this trend. So we're seeing new builds with hotel services, with wellness centers and community spaces to really offer that appeal to the international market. So we're seeing more and more and more international buyers.
Yeah, I think about this. What we are seeing in Spain is not anymore the sunshine destiny. It is becoming more modern. Services have increased a lot in the health services and any other transport facilities, livability, education. So the many aspects that you look in a modern European high standard lifestyle is arriving to Spain already, and we can offer this to all of the people willing to live here and enjoy all of this with the sunshine.
Exactly. So we can go ahead to the next slide. We're going to start to talk about where to invest. So as we said, the main draw for Spain is really the lifestyle, as well as the security, the economic stability, the political stability, etc. But there are also interesting investment opportunities. So we've chosen a couple of areas to share with you, which we think are good places to still invest. So the Costa del Sol, which is down in the south tip of Spain, probably most of you are very familiar with it because it's a hugely popular place for tourists and for foreign investors. I was actually just reading this morning that in one of the towns in Costa del Sol called Benaviz, in terms of when it comes to properties being sold, 85% of those properties are being sold to foreigners. That's how popular of a location it is for foreign investment. We're talking about Dutch, British, Polish, Americans, etc. So people are coming from all over the world to invest here. Why are they doing that? It offers, again, the amazing quality of life. You have days and days of sunshine, you have very mild winters, you have the airport of Malaga, which connects to over 40 countries or 140 different destinations. And it's also attracting not just retirees, as it used to attract, but it's also attracting people with families or younger entrepreneurs, digital nomads, because now they have this freedom to go and work from somewhere else, and they know that they're going to have a great quality of life in this area. So maybe you'd want to be looking at, if you want to be in the center of the hustle and bustle, let's call it, relatively speaking, you could look at the Golden Mile in Marbella, or you can be looking at really secluded, more quiet places such as Finca Cortesín or La Sagaleta. This project, which is up on the screen, is actually the St. Regis branded residence. It's the first standalone branded residence by St. Regis in Europe, and they chose to build it within Finca Cortesín, which is a world-class golf resort. This project consists of 46 properties, all with sea views, golf views, set within this gated community, and this is where you're going to be bumping into people like Mick Jagger and Obama, but with zero fuss, because it's just a very kind of low-key, elegant place to have your family home. And it's a property that you would be able to rent out, not as short-term, but more mid-term or longer-term. So you could really take advantage of the fact that it's a branded residence that's being serviced, and you can hand over the keys to have your place managed and rented out to bring you some revenue as well. And then on the next slide.
Okay, so now considering other destinies, Valencia is one of the most relevant new destinations and new investment locations on Spain, offering the Mediterranean lifestyle, close to the sea, a small city, very livable, with very good high standard transportation quality, and comparing it to the rest of the destinies in the Mediterranean coast, it's offering a very, very affordable price per square meter at a very high quality living style. We have a kind of traditional architectural buildings, very comparable to the very famous Barcelona's Eixample, considering apartments with high ceilings, traditional elements, with a high personality at a very affordable price in the center of the city. We can have also in Valencia a lot of houses, townhouses, and residential offers along the coast. And if we compare the prices per square meter with the rest of the Mediterranean coast, are very affordable, with an airport within 30 minutes that connects you to all of Europe, good level private schools, and a very wide offer of sea activities, golf, kite surfing, a marvelous and great offer in the gastronomical and cultural offer, where you can enjoy the famous paella, which I really, really loved. And in a city that is very gentle and easy to live in, and very easy to move in around. So Valencia, I think it's in the coming years, it's one of the gems of the lifestyle residential investment, also offering, because Valencia has been increasing its incoming tourism, so the demand for short-term rentals has been increasing constantly in the last 3 to 5 years, offering ROIs really, really interesting. With whether you want to invest or you want to live, or you want to do both things as a retirement alternative, you can come buy your house, enjoy the Mediterranean lifestyle, and on the other side invest on real estate that can bring an interest and ROI for you, margin around 5 to 7.5%, depending on your investment profile and where what opportunities you look for. So Valencia, I think, is among others, is a very, very interesting and complete city that offers a wide variety of investment opportunities and life opportunities.
Perfect. If I may jump in, both of you, and thank you very much for sharing those. And I know we've got lots more to look at. What are some of the, so for early buyers, quite early in the process, what's some of the advice that you'd be giving, starting out on their journey, just looking at the pictures? What's the next step that you'd encourage people to take?
I think the most important thing here is to consider two things. It's number one, you must choose the proper location for you. And if you are not really familiar, and if you don't know deeply the place you want to be, then you let yourself advise by someone who knows the terrain properly, like a real estate advisor that can guide you and let you know the insights and whereabouts about the location you are interested in. And number two, Spain is different, is another country. If you are coming from abroad, if you're not familiar with the legal aspects, with the requisites and the timings and the way of doing things in Spain, the second important advice will be to get the guidance of a lawyer. Then you can know that your investment and your time and all the efforts that you place in this new project can have a success guarantee without a stress. So the most important thing to consider is have a proper advice from a real estate agent or a real estate agency that is renewable, that has a good reputation and solid background in the market, and get advice from a lawyer that again is specialized in real estate and Spanish migration laws, so it can prepare you for this journey, and you don't have headaches away on the road. And then, of course, you have to follow up their instructions and do all the steps, which normally is you start from the couch, looking on your laptop and searching for those houses and those swimming pools and those nice places where you want to be. Then when you come and you have everything prepared in advance through your lawyer and your real estate agent, normally you conduct the viewings, try to choose the best place for you, and then you start in the process, which is placing an offer, doing the due diligence, negotiating. Then normally in Spain we have 2 steps before you close definitely the negotiation, which is you do an arras contract, which is the buying contract, where you send when you send all the whereabouts about the buying, and then finally you go to the notary and do your deeds. And in this process, it's also very important to consider that Spanish, it's having a very cautious KYC process, and then you also need to be aware how you are moving your funds and your money to, where for sure you could probably help them with. You are very good in this, and that would be the third advice. Get an advice for somebody who's specialized in currency movement and money movement, so they can help you out with all the process.
No, thank you, Juan. That's great. And I'm not sure, Amanda, if you've got anything to add, but what always strikes me is, you know, how quickly things can move ahead in Spain. Certainly, if we look at the UK, the property process here just seems to take so long, and there's so much back and forth. Whereas, you know, what I love about Spain is, you know, once that sort of reservation fee is paid and, you know, things are really sort of moving forward, then all happens quite quickly. And, you know, okay, sometimes you're waiting for the notary and paperwork to come together, but we're generally talking weeks in a lot of cases. Whereas in the UK, I mean, when I bought a flat last year, it took about 6 or 7 months, and it was just crazy. And I know in America things can move quite quickly sometimes as well. But yeah, maybe that's why the economy is doing so well in Spain, because you can easily buy and sell property.
You can move faster, exactly. And I think it's what Juan mentioned is really key, to have the right people guiding you. For example, with Dils Lucas Fox, 70% of our clients are international. And in fact, neither of us are from Spain. We've both moved here and set up life here. And that's just also the case for many of our agents, because we need to have the experience to really understand how to take people through this process. And, you know, a lot of the times the clients aren't even here in the country, and we're discussing these properties with them and helping them to identify the right location, the right lifestyle that they want, before they even come and visit, so that when they do come and visit, we've narrowed it down to just a couple of the properties that we think would be right for them. If we could jump to the next page, we have one more investment location to talk about, which is Madrid. We've gone from the coast now to the center of Spain, and the Madrid market is absolutely booming. It's really popular at the moment, especially with LATAM clients. So entering to invest at the moment is not as easy as other places, such as perhaps Valencia, for example, but there are still opportunities, especially if you want to be looking at certain locations within Madrid, or even certain new build projects. So this project is called General Pardiñas, and it has these, let's say, purpose-built, although obviously in very nice quality and with great design, properties which are meant for people to be renting out, or for students who are studying abroad. A lot of parents buy for their children, and these are great because they're smaller apartments and they're right in the center of the city. So they're going to be looking at giving yields of around 3 to 5% in this area. So these properties, for example, start at 710,000. This was a 16-unit building, and there are only 5 units left. So just to give an example, when there's a good product, it will fly off the shelves, especially in Madrid. We're going to jump over to lifestyle now. If you could go to the next slide. This first location that we're going to talk about is somewhere very close to my heart. It's actually where I live. I used to live in New York and then London, and then I hopped over to Barcelona, and after a couple of years decided to leave the city for the Costa Brava. So if you could switch over to the next slide. Oh, sorry, it's not the Costa Brava yet. We're starting with Juan and with Barcelona and Madrid, so Costa Brava will have to wait.
It's okay. You are so willing to go for the place you live. You are so in love with this place. Yeah, Madrid. There's always this thing about where you want to be, and normally we all want the best of everything, and sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot have it. But lifestyle, Madrid, Barcelona, two European. Two of the most European Spanish cities that has been transforming along the last 20-25 years, becoming among the most interesting destinies in Spain. Madrid is sophisticated, is big, has a huge cultural offer, with world-class museums, with a lot of Michelin-star restaurants, with a vibrant night activity, with a lot of cultural events, concerts, theater acts, you name it, whatever you want to expect to have in a world-class city. For any activity that you think about, Madrid can offer it to you with a nice style, with safety, and with the tranquility to be walking around the nicest streets, surrounded by nicest shops, styles, and that comfort and that sophisticated lifestyle that a major capital can give you. Barcelona, on the other hand, is Mediterranean, is vibrant, is multicultural, it's eclectic, with a really rich architectural style, with a lot of personality, and is definitely a city that as Madrid, it doesn't sleep, but where you can also find a big cultural activity, a high gastronomy standards, an airport that connects you to all over the world. We are having direct flights from the United States. We are having direct flights from South America on a daily basis. So it's a city that is connected to the world. And the world, it's looking at it, and you see it. Microsoft is placing a work center for 2,000 people. AstraZeneca is having its one of its working facilities, one of the biggest in Europe, in Barcelona. We have a city that is developing as a multi-central city, where you can have the traditional center, and then you can have the modern working area, where you have of the technology hub and all the techies companies being set up, and all of these enmarked by the sea, by the beach, and by this Mediterranean way of life. So vibrant cities, modern, with very high standards of lifestyle, security, and good and high standard services, education, working facilities, connection, livability, transport. So definitely two of the most interesting big cities to be in Spain.
Perfect. So if we can hop over to the next slide. Now I get to talk about Costa Brava.
Now you go.
Now I'm off. So this is a location that is kind of quietly booming. It's located just up the coast from Barcelona, within a 1.5 hour drive. You can be in the most incredible beaches in these whitewashed towns, and you're in this sort of Italian looking landscape surrounded by Michelin star restaurants, as well as the Pyrenees 2 hours away if you're interested in going skiing on the weekends. So you really get a bit of everything in this area, yet it still has this real authenticity to it. It's a bit like living in Ibiza or a bit like living in Mallorca, but without actually having to fly to go to your home, because you can just land in Barcelona or even in Girona and just drive over to your property. So here, the quality of life is really incredible. You have sports, you have kite surfing in the area, you have, well, a little bit of surfing. The Mediterranean's not the best for that, but on some days you can try. You have the incredible scenery, you have the mountains. You can basically wake up in the morning, go for a swim at the beach, drive a couple of hours, go skiing in the afternoon, drive down to Barcelona and go to dinner if you really wanted to, all within one day. So in terms of accessibility, and again, we go back to the quality of life, the Costa Brava is a destination that really has it all. And come the summer months, it's really booming. What we've seen with our clients, apart from the Dutch, the British, the French, who have been coming here for years, we're seeing a lot more Americans now who are coming over, buying a second residence and using it maybe 2 months at a time and coming 2-3 times throughout the year to come and enjoy their Costa Brava home. So these were kind of the areas to live that we wanted to highlight, that we see as quite popular for 2026. And if we can hop to the next slide, we're going to talk about emerging trends. And we're actually going to stay in the same region as the Costa Brava. So if you go into the next one, we are going to talk about the emergence of Girona. So if you see the green pin on the map, Girona is actually the same area as the Costa Brava. So we're just above Barcelona here. And Girona is a city that, again, is becoming extremely popular, especially for American clients who are discovering it mainly due to the cycling, popularity of cycling in the area. In terms of its location, there is Girona Airport, which flies directly to Paris, to London, and quite a few destinations over the summer. It's a very small, easy to use airport. Or if you wanted to come in winter or connect with more international flights, you can just fly into Barcelona and you drive about 1 hour and you're in the area already. So if you don't mind to flip to the next slide. Girona is basically somewhere where if you are interested in history, you have hundreds or thousands of years of history in this area. And in fact, there's this beautiful old section in the city called the Barri, which is actually where Game of Thrones was filmed. So a lot of you probably are familiar with what Girona looks like. You have world-class golf resorts. There's the Cameral Golf Resort, which maybe Juan, you can touch upon later. But as far as I know, they're going to be hosting the Ryder Cup in a couple of years. So that's very well known. There is incredible cycling, and in fact, it's where Lance Armstrong chose to train, and I believe he still has a property in the area. And it's also home to plenty of Michelin star restaurants, such as the world famous Cellar de Can Roca. So it's absolutely bursting with beauty and with culture, but without any of the flashiness that maybe comes with a few of the other areas in Spain, like you might see maybe in Marbella or in Ibiza. This is a much more authentic, low-key type of area. In terms of the weather, it's a little bit wetter than the rest of Spain, or than the south of Spain, let's say, but that also makes it very green and beautiful throughout the year. And you still get summers that are easily 35, 40 degrees at times. If you click onto the next slide, there are plenty of different types of properties in Girona that are that you can invest in. You can buy apartments in the city, you can buy houses by the coast, which would be the Costa Brava. you can buy anything. But what we've seen selling really well this year, which is very interesting, are these old farmhouses, which are called macias. And these are generally stone houses that have quite a few bedrooms and a big plot of land. And they used to be the old farmhouses, so you might find converted stables and some really old quirky features. Our director in Girona, Narcís, has said he's never had so many sales of these types of properties this year, both to Spanish people and to international clients. And some people, you know, of course, for these types of properties, you're being driven by the romantic aspect of living in such a beautiful house. But some people are choosing to make the most of turning them into event places. They can host weddings. This particular property has a tourist license and 10 bedrooms, so you could make a small Airbnb and start to recover some of the cost of the investment. As an idea of prices, this particular property, again, has 10 bedrooms and a tourist license, which is quite valuable these days. So we're looking at about 2.4 million for this property, but you can start to find them from around 1.2 and upwards. And that's a little summary about Girona. Maybe Juan, you want to add something about the golf that you're an expert there?
Well, Girona is, I think Girona is a very interesting place to look at, consider, study, and move on fast, because you know nowadays information flies and everything is known very quickly. And one of the things that Girona offers as the most valuable thing is nowadays tranquility, isolation. It's one of the most valued assets from the lifestyle. Wealthy people, high net worth individuals, they are trying to change the trend and to go away from the flashy lights and the fancy restaurants and the fancy discotheques, because they want tranquility. They want to be relaxed and they want to be in some way anonymous. That is becoming a big asset nowadays. And Girona offers this. Girona offers a big landscape, traditional macias, which nowadays are representing 15% of the transactions in real estate, with a very interesting thing, because the offer of macias is limited. You cannot build them anymore. So you have around the inventory, according to our Girona office director, Narcís, is very limited and is not above the 10,000. So
sorry, Juan, can I just jump in? Could you just elaborate on that point a bit more? Why have they restricted, and what is this type of building? I'm totally sorry, I don't know. It's maybe anyone else might need a bit of help. What type of building that is and why it's been restricted? Thank you.
Indeed, macias are traditional farmhouses, where you have two styles of them. You have, in one side, you have the ones used by the wealthy families in Barcelona or Girona, where they used to spend the summer times, because temperatures are a little bit more softer than it could be probably in Barcelona. So you have marvelous classical constructions from the 16th, 17th, 18th century, with big gardens and the nice, beautiful landscapes. Or you have the farmhouses that were usually used for agricultural purposes, or for the horses, the cows, So stone built, very antique, with a lot of personality. So that's why the offer of these kind of constructions are limited, and normally they are attached to big plots, 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 square meters of land. So because they used to be for agricultural purposes, pears, apples, or in some points also for grapes and producing wine. So that's what gives these properties a high interest and a strong personality. Some of them needs to be rebuilt, and there are some success projects conducted by American and British people that have bought them, renew them, and now they are developing touristical projects on them. So that's why that's what makes this a very interesting investment. But Girona offers a lot of things. About surfing, probably is not the place because the waves are not too big, but wind in the Roses Cape, it's marvelous. I think is one of the probably among the 10 better destinies in Europe for kite surfing. Of course, we don't have the conditions to beat Tarifa, but is a marvelous place for kite surfing, for paragliding, just to hike along the beach, because we have almost 10 kilometers of virgin, but very net constructed, invaded by concrete beaches. Which is really nice place to go to hike or just to enjoy the beach life. And then on the other side you have caves, an accidental coastline, which is beautiful and amazing. Almost 30 Michelin star restaurants in within 30 minutes drive. An airport that connects you to Europe, which, by the way, if you have a private jet, you can come, land on the airport, play your golf round within 10 minutes drive, and then go back to your plane and go back home and to your if you are a wealthy a wealthy person who likes golf. Camiral offers 2 high world-class golf courses where Ryder Cup will be held in 2031, and this for sure will pull up this region if you like, or if you are thinking to have a luxury house on a gated community surrounded by a golf course. This is the place to be. Is a place that is being developed in the last 10 years, and it's offering a great opportunity to have a second holiday home, or even a retired home where you can live and enjoy all year round. So Girona is definitely one of the places to consider and have a good look up for the next coming years.
Wonderful. It's beautiful to hear you talking about it all, and your passion and yours, Amanda, really coming through there. And obviously, if Spain's continuing to grow, and all the signs are it should. I mean, global growth is predicted to continue into next year. You know, at the start of the year, there was talk of global recessions. Certainly the UK, we were worrying about that, other places. Thankfully, that's not happened. As I say, forecasts continue, and obviously Spain's going to continue to do well. Then it's these up and coming areas like Girona, from an investor's point of view, you really want to be getting into them now, right?
Right, indeed.
Exactly. If we could maybe go to the next slide.
Well, here we have another golf-related investment opportunity. It's not that I'm a fan of golf, which I am a lot, but it's just places where are really interesting to invest. South from Barcelona, within 1 hour and 15 minutes drive, we have Tarragona, which is UN patrimony, and we have another golf place, which is Infinitum, with 3 world-class golf courses. Actually, the DP World Tour Classification School is being held here. So you can find here 2 of the best golf courses in the region, and one of the best in Spain. And surrounding these golf course facilities, you can find a 2,000 apartments new development for houses, villas, and touristical places where you can or enjoy holidays for as a second home, or buy to rent, because the touristical demand in this area is quite high. Having the Portaventura park just near to it, where you can come with your child, with your family, and enjoy a lot of the attractions that you can find in this park. And then again, soft sandy beaches, soft weather, and a more affordable investment opportunity, ranging all of the investment years are ranging below the €1 million. And if you want to invest, then is a good, you can just get out of it a good 5 to 7.5% on a yearly basis. So again, 1 hour drive from international airport, connected to the Reus airport, which is 20 minutes drive, and connected to main European cities, mostly in summer. And the high-speed train to Madrid stopped by just 20 minutes drive. So you can be connected to Madrid, to Barcelona, or to the rest of Europe very quick and easy, and with a more affordable investment profile.
Perfect. Well, actually,
over to Amanda to continue.
Yeah, we'll show you that project in a second. Right now, we're stopped on the new development project slide. So I'll just take you through the branded residences. If we could stay on that one, Johnny. Perfect. So branded residences, these are absolutely booming all over the world, but we're really seeing a huge pipeline in Spain. So at the moment, there are 13 projects that have been developed or are in development, but we're going to be reaching 38 if all of the projects in the pipeline are delivered. The main hub for these types of projects is down in the Costa del Sol, which is where we looked at in the beginning of the webinar. So you'll find a lot of projects there because of the level of tourism and because of the high foreign investment. But we're also seeing quite a few projects in Madrid and some in Barcelona as well. So to give you some ideas, there's the Mandarin Oriental residences in Barcelona and in Madrid. The Madrid residences sold out basically instantly. We have the St. Regis, which I showed you earlier as well, down in the Costa del Sol. We have Banyan Tree, which is an Asian hospitality brand opening up in Madrid. And then we have some non-hospitality brands as well, such as Missoni and Lamborghini, and those are down in the Costa del Sol. What's really interesting about these projects is that they are attracting a lot of foreign investment. They do come with a price premium because of the brand that's associated with the project, but because of that, you also get these incredible services that they're offering. There's everything from the standard massage rooms and saunas and yoga studios through to kind of specific wellness treatment centers. Some of them have hairdressers on site, dog walkers, all the services you can think of, as well as community spaces, so that when these homeowners or these people who are renting, who are all in a similar kind of community, when they're on site, they can go have a glass of wine together, or they can sit around the fire pit together, or just have these opportunities to network and mingle amongst each other as well. So again, branded residence, we're seeing a huge pipeline that's due to be coming over the next years. And we're seeing some really interesting hospitality and non-hospitality brands show up in the scene. So if we flip onto the next slide, this is the project that Juan was referring to, which is not a branded one, but it's the one down in Tarragona, just south of Barcelona, and with excellent connections, and is another example of another new development that's popping up along Spain's coast. And if we flip on to the next, over to you, Juan.
Okay, so as we mentioned before, Barcelona lifestyle is this Mediterranean style city with this remarkable traditional classic architecture, where you can find a city that was designed to be walked by, with a city that was designed by Antoni Gaudí, and one of the most relevant architects in the 17th century, the one that designed the Sagrada Familia church, which, by the way, it's now the highest one in the world. It's one of the most well-known and loved treasures of the city. A place that definitely worth to come once in your life to see, because it's an amazing place. It is the design, the interiors, everything. It's just astonishing from this building, and that is also reflected on a lot of the architectural style in Barcelona, mostly found on the Eixample area, which is one of the most sought after neighborhoods in the city, with wide streets, wide sidewalks, beautiful facades, classical facades, with this modernist style of Barcelona, apartments and homes that feel very classy, classical, with a lot of personality, surrounded by a lot of architectural traditional elements that you can only find in Barcelona, and when they are properly renovated, they give you a really sophisticated mix between classy, antique, and modern lifestyle, in a place where you can reach anything that you need at a walking distance. So it gives you this urban lifestyle, but modern, with style, and also benefiting yourself from traditional architectural buildings with a lot of personality. And just a few minutes away walking, you can reach the beach, enjoy just an ice cream, having a walk through the harbor, watching the yachts, the sailboats, and just live this non-complicated Mediterranean way of living, but also at the same time being able to reach a Michelin star restaurant just within 10 to 15 minutes walk, or just to enjoy the calm and tranquility that the city can offer you, with a lot of cultural and offer that can lead you to the best brands in the world, to the simplest corner restaurant to enjoy some bravas, tapas, or a beer, or a glass of cava, things like simple life can bring, but that you can enjoy in a very sophisticated way of life. And that's what Barcelona gives you, and at the same time offering you the opportunity to reach high standards and offer for education, with 2 or 3 of the most reputed business schools in Europe, or facility centers where you can have technological hubs, or where you can just grow and benefit yourself from the entrepreneurial spirit of the city, which is attracting a lot of investors and digital nomads, and being attractive for a lot of companies, relevant companies in the world that are trying to set up their bases in Barcelona. So Barcelona, as a metropolitan, cosmopolitan city, gives you all this, combining modernity, traditional architecture, but also with modernist and modern facilities, and just combining in a very unique lifestyle. I don't know, Amanda, you probably want to add something up here with you enjoy also the city as you enjoy Girona, doesn't you?
It's true. I do still love Barcelona. It's very easy to combine a bit of the living outside in the countryside, but coming down to work in Barcelona. And you know what we see with our clients is, again, I'd say roughly maybe two types of people who are coming to buy here. One is the couple, the individual, the family who said, actually, I want to move. I can be a digital nomad, or I can work locally or work for a foreign company, but from Barcelona. And they want to actually get up and move here, and you can really find, even within the city, these different pockets, which maybe you're more of a beach person and you're going to live in Poblenou or in a Champla, which has easy access to the beach. Or if you're more of a mountain person, you can choose to live up away from the coast a little bit and just be on the edge of the forest and have all this access to nature as well as the city center. Or we have a lot of people who are investors or just looking to come over, and if this is their weekend pad, and this is where they might come and spend a few more weeks in the summer to make the most of the atmosphere, the food, the environment. There's always festivals happening, there's amazing restaurants. I think we've mentioned restaurants a lot in this webinar, so that's clearly a key selling point of Spain. And again, bringing it back to the lifestyle, people who really just want to tap into the lifestyle, whether it's to move here for good, or if it's just every now and then on the weekends or over the summer that they want to come and experience that. So over to Johnny, I believe it is.
Yeah, it's over to you now.
Thank you both. No, so beautiful to listen to you both talking about these places and times you spent there, and brings us on nicely to the currency element. So of course, found your wonderful property. If you're an overseas buyer, you're going to be moving money to pay for it. So starting off, first of all, to look at some of the trends for 2026, we're looking at pound euro levels. The summary really, and it's something we've seen for much of 2025, is a stronger euro. We were talking, of course, about how well the Spanish economy has been doing. Well, really in the last few years, the Eurozone economy as a whole has outperformed many expectations. And also where we've seen the big news really this year was in April, Mr. Trump and the trade tariffs. And what that actually did is it started to weaken the US dollar quite dramatically, and we will turn on to dollar-euro exchange rates where the shift has been more pronounced. But essentially a weaker dollar because of Mr. Trump's trade tariffs, that has fed into a much stronger euro. And really the changes in more sort of geopolitical tensions, essentially with the US no longer backing up Europe militarily as much as expected, has really forced a lot of European countries to increase their spending on defense. Germany, notably, some others. That, by the way, isn't the main reason for Spain's big economic boom, but it does all sort of tie into each other. A lot of countries have upped defense spending now. In Europe, that has increased their strength of the currency. As the dollar's got weaker, the euro's got a lot stronger, and that's actually weighed the euro down a little bit against the pound. We've seen pound euro levels declining a little bit this year. So just add some more weight to these arguments about how, as property prices are going up, and you know, perhaps, yeah, as any estate agent will tell you, the best time to buy is now, because in the future, property prices generally over the longer term do go up, particularly in world famous cities, Madrid, Barcelona, London, you know, New York, Paris, all these beautiful places in the world. Over the longer term, of course, there's the demand there. And actually with the currency trending slightly lower, that could lend some more weight to those arguments from a currency point of view. So that is pound euro levels. If we turn to dollar euro levels, it's a similar story. Again, the dollar has been a lot weaker in 2025, and there are many forecasts for that to continue into the new year. If we're talking about buying €1 million, that's actually cost over $100,000 extra towards the end of this year versus the start. And it just shows how much these exchange rate fluctuations can impact your budget. So it's really important, as Juan and Amanda said right at the beginning, to have your conversations about currency quite early on, because there's actually a number of different options that can be run through. And I'd just like to point out, these are just forecasts. We look at 50 different banks, some of the leading financial institutions out there, and we look at 50 of them to try and get an average of where the forecasts think the market could be headed. So there's no guarantees, and this is actually what makes currency very challenging, is no one knows precisely what's going to happen. But it's just for that reason that it's really important that you have a plan in place, because whilst the Spanish property process can move quite quickly, exchange rates can change in a few days. They're changing by the second. So from your offer in, from your deposit payments to the completion, the exchange rate could have changed, and it could make your property transaction more expensive. So how can Lumon help with this? We have a number of different options to mitigate the financial and foreign exchange risk of that purchase. Number one, the first step is to register. You then get access to a Euro wallet. So opening a bank account in Spain will generally only happen once you've got your NIE number. That's one of the early steps, as Juan mentioned, to get some legal representation. Now that can take a few weeks. With Lumon, you can actually have a Euro wallet open pretty much that same day, and then you can use that to purchase euros, to hold them. You can pay your notaire, you can buy a car, you can pay your builder, you can do all sorts of things with this Euro account. Lumon actually has local bank accounts in Spain. We've got a number of offices over there as well, people on the ground. We work very closely with Amanda, Juan, other solicitors throughout the country as well. So a lot of them are familiar with Lumon's banking arrangements, and we can streamline payments to the solicitor to help with those deposits in those early stages to understand your processing. A key point, we're gently running out of time in this webinar, but on there you'll see is the forward contract. And I'm just going to finish with that point because, again, when you're looking at these transactions, as we saw on my slides just before, some of the forecasts on exchange rates are many, many cents. If you're talking about seven-figure sums, as Amanda and Juan had mentioned, millions of euros, 1 or 2 cents is literally tens of thousands. As I say, buying €1 million this year is costing $100,000 more in the last few months since February. Now, a forward contract allows you to fix an exchange rate for payment in the future. So if you're putting in an offer now to buy in Spain, you've got US dollars, maybe you've got money in the stock market, you don't want to pull it out, maybe you're selling a property in the United States, you're not going to close until January. But if you're hoping to complete in Spain, say end of January, February, you could lock the exchange rate in for a small deposit for that duration, so you can have a fantastic Christmas without having to worry about exchange rates changing and having an embarrassing phone call to Juan or Amanda and saying that you didn't take their advice and the currency went the wrong way. So as they had both said, very important to have those conversations early on. Well, Amanda, Juan, we're now approaching the very end of the webinar, so I'd just like to turn to both of you for just a little outro from each of you. You've both been fantastic this evening. It's been really educational. I'm not sure where to buy in Spain, but I'm definitely keen. But yes, Amanda, if I could turn to you first. Thank you.
Yes, sure. So the real theme to what we've been saying is Spain is booming. There are still opportunities to find where to invest and to find these really authentic places. If you do a bit of research, it's a great idea to go and spend some time in the areas because, as Juan said in the beginning, it's all down to the location. But bear in mind that, as we also said, our team are basically all international agents, and we think of them, or they are advisors. They're here to help you throughout the process. Oops, sorry about that. They're here to help you throughout the process as opposed to just doing a transaction of the property. So Spain is really, I'd say, coming back to the center of people's attentions. We're seeing more and more and more foreign investors coming to buy here, whether it's to live here or just to have a summer home. And so we're seeing these prices rising, but the timing is still good. And as you say, if you secure your currency, you can start your process now. As soon as you start, then you're already on the path to securing where you want to be in Spain in 2026. And we're always here to help along that journey. Juan?
Indeed, as Amanda mentioned, that's what we dedicate ourselves entirely at Dils Lucas Fox. Now with 30 offices around Spain, we can definitely guide everyone willing to buy a home, come to live, or invest in the many options that Spain has to offer. As we mentioned in the beginning, 3 main guidance: get proper advice from a real estate agency, get proper advice from a lawyer, get proper advice for your economical and funds movements. Whether you are looking to buy or invest, or you want to have the Mediterranean lifestyle, or the inline sophisticated city life, you can find a lot of opportunities which definitely we can present them to you, whether they are in the market or off market, with the new private advisory service that we are creating at Dils Lucas Fox, where you don't need to move from your office or your home country, and we can just do the concierge full service for you. And it's a time to do a good business, and it's always now. You cannot wait and see what will happen in the future, because it could get better or it could get worse. You will never know this. So the time is now, and Spain is it's aligned with the demand, with the lifestyle, with the offer we are having on nowadays. So definitely it's among the most interesting investment destinations in Europe nowadays. Actually, you were mentioning, Jonathan, that if you're buying with dollars, it will cost you around 9 to 10% more nowadays compared to a few months ago. And if you compare the cost of maintaining a property in United States with the cost of maintaining that property here in Spain, it's around 10 times less, which on a €1 million on a $1 million property could be 10 to 15,000 euros compared to the $50,000-$60,000 that can be in the States. So it's also another important point to consider.
Absolutely, yeah, it's amazing when you look at these fluctuations, and it's only when it becomes real and you hear these numbers put out from the fluctuations that maybe people start to think. So yes, anyone who's watched and enjoyed this evening, everyone will get a copy of the recording, and we'd all panelists here would be delighted to speak to you in more detail about the full ins and outs of our services. So I'm off out into the freezing cold London air, but I'll be dreaming of Spain, no doubt. But yes, thank you very much, both of you, for joining us this evening. I hope the audience have found it useful, and we look forward to seeing you all again in the future. Have a great evening, everyone.
Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.